Hi, my name is John Mascia. I'm here to talk about hunting helps in the conservation of the deer species. Hunting in the United States is the largest conservation effort for white-tailed deer, mainly through the increased health of each population and their environments. Hunting helps maintaining deer as a valued public resource. So when you go hiking in the woods and around your house and you see white-tailed deer, that means that the conservation efforts have been doing well and their numbers are good and they're still healthy. Hunting helps maintain deer through conservation and is controlled by hunters through regulations and funding. So regulations are voted on by hunters and then enacted by the government, which are made laws to protect the deer, mostly from poaching, and funding through the sale of licenses, permits, and donations. Funding is given to the government to be put back into the conservation of white-tailed deer. So today we're going to talk about why deer hunting is important, how it affects the deer populations, and problems from overpopulating without hunting. So if they made hunting illegal or everybody stopped hunting, what would happen or occur with the deer populations? Regulated deer hunting. So today's hunting is known as regulated deer hunting. That means there's laws that stop or allow people to go hunting in certain areas and times of the year. In past years, many years ago, there was no laws that stopped anybody from killing a wild deer or an animal that was in the woods. And this was bad because the deer population significantly dropped because no one was stopping poachers and people killing an unreasonable amount of deer. According to the University of Nebraska, in the 2018 article titled "The North American Conservation Model," deer seasons and bag limits help to maintain stable and healthy deer populations. So through different seasons, they let the deer mate and then they allow a hunting season afterwards, and through a bag limit, so the amount of deer you're allowed to legally kill, a safe and more healthy deer population will be there for the next year. Hunting limits population numbers and maintains sustainable numbers. So hunting helps to keep the numbers of the deer herds in check and stop overpopulating. By keeping the numbers of the deer herds in check, we could stop overeating out of their environments and drinking. So food and water is of course very important to deer, and if there's too many deer in a certain area, they can actually eat themselves out of their own environment. And the number of active hunters helps to keep the population in check. There are over 30 million white-tailed deer known to be in the United States currently, and there are many, many hunters. So with the number of hunters we have today, it helps to keep the number of deer in check because we have enough hunters to harvest a safe and effective amount of deer each year. If we didn't have this amount of hunters, it'd be a lot harder for us to keep the numbers in check. Hunting helps to stop diseases. So diseases are known as a major one, chronic wasting disease among deer. But hunting helps to prevent these, mostly from stopping overpopulating. Overpopulating is one of the leading causes of deer diseases and sicknesses and mass killings of deer herds. Removing sick deer from the herd is also a big part of hunting. Most ethical hunters, when they see a sick deer, will remove it by hunting it and killing it, and they will usually call a game warden or some kind of government official to do with hunting to let them know that they killed a sick animal. By removing a sick animal from the herd, it prevents other deer from spreading it and getting them sick and killing off a mass number. According to Holman in a 2008 article titled "The Deer Reduction Program," the Deer Herd Reduction Program was started in 2003 and has been an overall successful program in the stopping of mass killings of deer infected by the disease, such as chronic wasting disease. This is important because it stops the quick spread of the sickness. Deer can transfer diseases really fast, and if the numbers are overpopulated and there's 10,000 deer in 20 acres, that could be a huge problem because it can spread it across states extremely fast. So hunting is needed to prevent diseases, and this is one way that hunting helps to keep a healthy population of deer. Conservation funding, a big one. Hunting in the United States is one of the only ways the government can afford to keep deer populations in check without spending millions of dollars. So when hunters go to hunt deer, They have to buy licenses and permits and sometimes even donate money to the government to put back into the conservation of deer environments. So by having better environments and programs for the deer, they're more likely to be healthy, have good numbers, and be more protected, such as giving money to game wardens to stop people from illegally killing and harvesting them out of seasons. In a 2017 article by Katrine Wingfall titled Conservation of Deer Herds, the purchase of hunting licenses made up 75% of the total funding spent on conservation of deer herds in the United States. This is important to realize because hunters make up 75% just in their hunting licenses of the conservation money that is given back into the deer herds and protecting them. Funding of conservation programs ensures the future of deer. So biologists, mostly wildlife experts, put conservation programs into place that are years on years on years. So it takes a couple of years for them to take effect. But hunters fund these programs so that the deer will be there for future generations. So hunting leads to the better health of the deer population. In conclusion, we have made improvements. Yes, we have made improvements from what years and years and years ago we had. And that's about 10 years when people were just killing deer because they wanted extra food. And yes, we still harvest deer for food, but we also now hunt them to keep their numbers in check and keep their healthy population and keep them doing well. Hunting is necessary. Without hunting, numbers would go crazy through the roof. Diseases and sicknesses would take over the deer population and it would be very bad and kill off many of our deer. And we look forward to hunting, and for the deer, this is the only way for us to help them and keep them in check, keep their numbers and their food and water system clean, and have them have a safe population and be even healthier for our future generations.